Ukraine in its fight against Russia, and those who have fled to the country since the invasion began. Jim Hake is CEO of Spirit America, which is working with the U.S. military and other federal agencies to provide aid to Ukraine's armed forces and refugees, and he joins us now. So welcome to the show, and I understand you go back and forth between the U.S. and Poland. You cross in the border in Ukraine to deliver supplies. So tell me about what these missions are like and what they entail.
Well, thanks for having me. And what Spirit of America is doing is providing a way for Americans to save lives, stop Putin, and help Ukraine win. We're providing non-lethal assistance, protective aid to Ukrainian soldiers and the civilian volunteers who are fighting on the front lines to protect Ukraine and to defend freedom and democracy for all of us.
And you have a team on the ground there now. What is the latest? What are they reporting to you?
Yes, so our team is in Ukraine now. They just met just hours ago with the general who was responsible for the civilian volunteers called the Territorial Defense Forces. So these are people like you and me and other just ordinary citizens who stepped up to defend the country. So that's the general who's commanding about 100,000 civilians who 2.5 months ago were in just regular jobs. And what that general said is the most needed thing right now is exactly what Spirit of America is doing, is providing bulletproof vests and helmets that help keep those courageous Ukrainians alive on the front lines while they defend their country.
So have you seen a change since you began working in Ukraine after the Russian invasion?
Well, the Spirit of America has been active in Ukraine since 2014 after the first Russian invasion, and very active since the war began in late February. So the main thing that is so encouraging is the degree to which Ukrainians are stepping up on their own, Ukrainian citizens, to defend their country. And it's an inspiration, and it's something that is clear that is in the best interest of Americans to help them win that fight.
And I understand that people are showing up, these Ukrainians who are showing up to fight, and they're showing up in athletic gear for military duty with sports equipment.
Well, I mean, one of the things that you need if you're a soldier is very helpful is to have knee pads. And, ordinary citizens don't usually have knee pads, but skateboarders do. So there have been young men who have shown up with their skateboarding knee pads is the only gear that they're able to bring to the fight. And what Americans can do, and they can do it through Spirit of America, is to provide the gear that they're missing, both to help keep them alive and help them further protect the innocents that Russia is so steadfast in trying to kill.
Yeah, so where does all of this aid come from? And be specific about how people can help.
Yeah, well, everything we do is privately funded. So it's regular Americans who are chipping in to help Ukraine win the fight. A ballistic helmet that can save a life immediately is $383. And people can go to spiritofamerica.org and make that kind of a contribution to help Ukrainians win the fight. The bulletproof vests are about $900. And first aid kit is $142. Every dollar that's contributed to this effort goes directly to provide the assistance that is needed on the front lines in Ukraine.
So the biggest need right now for your organization is just funding, and then you all will take care of buying what the biggest need is for them in terms of equipment there in Ukraine. Is that right?
Yeah, and yes, and we have a logistics infrastructure and partnership, a unique partnership that we have with the U.S. military that gets assistance into Ukraine 48 hours after it leaves the United States, across the border into the hands of the soldiers and civilian volunteers who are defending the country. And that is with an unprecedented level of speed. And the main thing that Americans can do is help join in and pitch in to help the Ukrainians at this hour of need.
Well, it is amazing and important work you're doing, and we appreciate you making the time for us tonight. Jim Hake, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And now to some top stories we're following.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.